Cody Rhodes injured, an AEW Star for WrestleMania, my review of WWE Raw, and Rhea Ripley's shock WWE title loss. I'm Ollie Davis, and this is the WrestleTalk News.
Support WrestleTalk!
Here I was just 2 weeks ago, minding my own business, thinking it's going to be Rhea Ripley defending her women's championship at WrestleMania, John Cena valiantly trying to beat fellow babyface Cody Rhodes for a record 17th world title win, and SmackDown being a mostly missable show. That's the way Paul Levesque books wrestling. Logically, methodically, the keenest attention to detail. Yeah, maybe a little slow and predictable, but too late to change that, right? We're a month and a half out from WrestleMania. Now, following Saturday's Elimination Chamber and last night's Raw, Cena's a heel and Ripley just lost her World Championship. Thank God you're still missable, SmackDown. I need certainty in my life. And perhaps there are more shocks on the way. As Brian Alvarez has reported, when the Chamber show was over, there were a bunch of matches that seemed like, okay, now we know what we have for Mania. We've got this match, this match, this match. And I was told that there are more twists and turns coming. So if you think that you know the Mania card based on what happened at Elimination Chamber, there are going to be some changes. That happened immediately on Raw when Io Sky shockingly beat Ripley to become the new Women's World Champion. And there might be a big debut happening soon that could further change the Mania card. Penta and his brother Rey Fenix apparently started telling people backstage in AEW that they would go to WWE when their contracts expired last summer. That's not the wisest move to make when you're trying to get released, because while Penta was free to go when his deal was up last November, AEW reportedly added time to Fenix's contract because of the time he missed due to injury. This is why Penta was able to debut for WWE on the second Netflix Raw at the start of this year. And Fenix has been posting on social media that he's being held hostage. But on the 3rd of March, Fenix was removed from the official AEW roster page. PW Insider quickly confirmed that he is done with AEW and is now a free agent, prompting WrestleVotes to report. Spoke with a WWE source regarding the Rey Fenix news making the rounds. With him being free and clear, the expectation backstage is that he joins WWE sooner rather than later. Source added they wouldn't be surprised if Fenix ends up on the WrestleMania card, but noted there's no exact timeline in place. Penta is currently in a singles feud with Ludwig Kaiser. Fenix being added and reuniting the Lucha Bros could transition them into a Raw Tag Team title feud, which doesn't yet seem to have a Mania direction. While John Cena isn't scheduled to appear on WWE TV for another 2 weeks, Cody Rhodes has been announced for this Friday's SmackDown to address that angle at the end of Elimination Chamber. But it's not just Rock and Cena he's going to be angry with, because Grammy Award-winning musical artist Travis Scott was also there. And according to the Wrestling Observer, he legitimately injured Cody. Cody got hurt. I think it was Travis Scott that did it. I heard he had a busted eardrum and a black eye. The moment has been shared from a fan angle on social media, where you can clearly see Scott give Cody a very hard slap on the side of the head while he was on the floor. Scott is reportedly training for an eventual in-ring WWE match. Now here's a word from this video's sponsor.
And that is how the Big Show won the WWE Championship again. So thanks everyone for joining us, and jam that jam.
Jam that jam.
Man, what a good show, Tambers. That was a really good show today.
Thanks, Luke.
Oh, man, it was so good. Oh, God. Ugh.
What's wrong?
It's the Grumblies. It's the Grumblies, Tempest. The Grumblies are in my tumblies.
Oh, God.
Ah! Have you got any magic spoon?
I don't know. I don't know.
Looking for this, Grumbly boys?
Oh, no!
Yes, now that I have your precious magic spoon, you must be subjected to my boring food.
Pete, why must you be like this?
That's not Pete.
No, trust me, I'm Pete. Anyway, now you must eat all of my collection of margarine. Consume my seed oils!
Wait, did you really think I wouldn't bring a second box with me?
A second box of Magic Spoon?
Of course! Magic Spoon is a delicious high-protein cereal that has no artificial flavoring. Magic Spoon is great for a low-carb lifestyle, has the great taste you love with more protein and less sugar. You can also try Magic Spoon's treats. They're crispy, crunchy, and airy without the chewy stickiness of a protein bar. It's the ideal protein on the go. Use code WrestleTalk or click the link in the description to try Magic Spoon treats or granola today and get $5 off. You can also find Magic Spoon on Amazon or in your nearest grocery store. And Magic Spoon is so confident in their product, it's backed with a 100% happiness guarantee online. So if you don't like it for any reason, they'll refund your money, no questions asked. So click the link in the description to go to magicspoon.com/WrestleTalk or scan the QR code on screen for $5 off.
Oh no! That amazing deal has foiled me once again! I must flee!
Away with you, boring food man!
Get out of here! I'm sick of seeing you around here, Pete.
I keep telling you, it's not Pete.
Sure. Oh, Pete, it's a pull door.
I'm pushing as hard as I can!
You did this last time. It's a pull door.
Oh, I'm nearly there.
No, so the opposite of push, you need pull the door.
Oh, it was a pull door. I hope they didn't notice.
That was a close one. At least we got that magic spoon now, huh?
Oh, God.
Now it's time for my review of Monday Netflix Raw. In about 5 minutes, but probably longer because I got really excited about the Punk promo. The show opened on the best kind of Punk, where the CM stands for correctly mad. Storming right out to the ring, he snatched a microphone, kicked over that stupid giant Prime bottle, take that Logan Paul, and stood on the announcer's table. Staring straight down the camera lens from up high for the next several minutes, Punk cut the sort of pissed off, worked shoot promo that made him a megastar. He called Rock the Dwayne Johnson a bald fraud, Mr. Midlife Crisis. He started slapping his arm, mocking The Rock's Goosebumps thing, and accusing him of not actually loving the business. Punk said he was never so desperate to wear a fake title like The Rock's Dumb People's Championship. I'm gonna choose to ignore the real AEW World Championship he had in that other promotion. It's why Punk is the voice of the voiceless. He's able to say things in a way that makes us all feel validated. He spoke aloud all of our criticisms of 2011 WWE with the original pipe bomb, and now he's voicing all the cringe-inducing aspects of The Rock we've been growing tired of since January. This was the closest Punk has come to a classic pipe bomb since his WWE return, and it made his kayfabe material hit even harder. He accused John Cena of selling kids bull S-word all along, and in the promo's best written line, John will make a wish that Punk will never get to him. He said his immediate priority, though, is the man who caused his chamber elimination, Seth Rollins. Becky Lynch better come get her man before he does. Which prompted Becky to fire back in a since-deleted tweet. Takes one to know one, posting, I don't think I'm the one who needs to come get my man, with a side-by-side picture showing Punk and his NXT mentoree Roxanne Perez and their matching gear, implying Punk's wife AJ Lee should be concerned. Punk and Seth then had an excellent brawl that was pulled apart and restarted more times than Peter and the Chicken from Family Guy. Later in the show, Adam Pearce booked a main event for next week's Madison Square Garden episode, and the only stipulation that could contain them: a steel cage. Stipulations feel important again. There's an interesting line amidst all the shoot, bang, bang, though. Punk said he hasn't exhausted his possibilities to get to WrestleMania. He seems destined for a match against Seth Rollins, maybe even a three-way against Rollins and Roman Reigns as it's been reported, but that doesn't feel like an either night main event right now. But Punk always has that favour from Paul Heyman. Could that be a way to get Punk added into the Cena vs. Cody main event? Help me out! Tell me how that could work in the comments down below. WWE also gave us the first Mania match graphic for Cody vs. Cena, but because they don't yet have an official render of heel John, we hilariously got his grumpy face from the heel turn angle. Following on from the great Akira Tozawa squash match segment last week, Gunther took out his faction mate Otis here. Otis got a surprising amount of time to shine against the world champion, but bully Gunther is inevitable. He beat Otis with a powerbomb and then powerbombed Tozawa onto him. This brought Jey Uso down for the save, who fought off Gunther, only to be attacked by the terrifying undercard tag team of Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. Yeah, they're still together. Gunther then jumped Jey after that, laying him out, while Michael Cole said on commentary, it's going to be a long 7 weeks for Jey Uso. You're telling me? They appear to have run out of story, so they're using undercard filler way below the World Heavyweight title to elongate it. Jey cut a decent emotional promo backstage after about people not believing in him, but he ultimately said nothing new. Jey will face Waller next week. Like I've been saying, this is a really well-built Mid-card title feud. Karrion Kross tried to manipulate AJ Styles backstage, who wants to teach Logan Paul a lesson. Ivy Nile targeted Lyra Valkyria's leg in their match, taking most of the offense. But then Lyra hit a Nightwing to retain. Raquel Rodriguez was teased backstage to enter the IC title picture next. Ludwig Kaiser is such a good performer. His poise, his little facial expressions, that ridiculously arch eyebrow. He cut a promo on Penta saying he'll teach him what fear looks like. So Penta ran down and reminded him, Zero Miedo, and sent Kaiser packing. Every couple of segments, WWE played a different recap package of John Cena's heel turn, playing different clips of people's reactions. I saw Santi Zap, I show speed, a bunch of children crying. They must learn heartbreak. While I'm desperate for the next Cena Rock angle, WWE laid out this show perfectly, focusing on elevating the full-time roster while really getting over how historic Cena's heel turn was with multiple replays and vignettes. And speaking of vignettes, boy, that must have been a long plane ride, because several weeks after leaving for Mexico, we got our first video sketch of Chad Gable trying to learn the dark art of Lucha Libre, which involved him seemingly entering an episode of Lucha Underground. Chad was filmed walking around a Mexican street asking if anyone knew the guy Dom had told him about, where he then met a mysterious person in a poncho in a back alley. Hopefully this will eventually be revealed as Dario Cueto in old guy makeup. There was a nice bit of comedy when the old guy kept asking for more money to hand over Lucha Libre's secrets, which turned out to be a battered cardboard box like it was Brad Pitt at the end of Fight Club. The sketch cut before we found out what was inside. I'm guessing it's a lucha mask, and we're finally getting my fantasy booking of El Chadador. Hopefully we get a series of sketches of him training, as it'd be a shame if this was just a one-off. This went into the Creeds getting a second chance at the War Raiders World Tag Team titles. While it wasn't as great as their first match, this was still very good big guy action, with everyone missing top rope moves in one sequence for Julius to hit a perfect shooting star press. The War Raiders retained with the War Machine. El Chadador might not be happy that his American-made faction haven't won any gold in his absence, which can only mean one thing. They all also embrace the dark arts of Lucha Libre and rebrand as Mexican-made, with their finishing move, reverse tariffs. There was a recap of the excellent Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens unsanctioned match. Cole gave an update on Sami's condition, saying his re-aggravated neck injuries mean he's out indefinitely. I think keep him out until after WrestleMania to really sell that match. The LWO got a cool pre-produced promo in a Mexican-style bar, where Rey Mysterio challenged New Day to a tornado tag next week. This and the Gable video feel like when NXT used to do different style promos for each act. Hopefully it's a sign of more to come on the main roster, as it really helps get over characters with very little screen time. Which isn't the case for the Judgment Day in their clubhouse. It was more infighting as usual, as Finn Balor was trying to hide his annoyance that he didn't win last week. But Liv and Raquel won the tag belts. He decided to go teach Bron Breakker a lesson by interrupting his interview in the crowd. Bron walked into a classic Judgment Day trap, where Dom and Carlito attacked him one at a time, beat them all up, and Finn too. And the main event was Rhea Ripley versus Io Sky for the Women's World title. A match that I was very excited for because I think Io is one of the best wrestlers in the whole company. But, as I said on my Elimination Chamber review, Rhea Ripley posed behind Bianca afterwards, and Io Sky was also there to remind people she's fighting for the women's title on Monday, which she definitely won't win. I don't mind having said that because om nom nom, nom 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 nom, this humble pie tastes delicious. With Bianca Belair at ringside, who told Kathy Kelly she won't talk about that whole Jade Cargill and Naomi thing tonight, she's focused on seeing who she'll face at Mania after winning the Chamber. It was actually the EST who turned out to be the deciding factor. This was a face versus face match, where Rhea mostly worked over Io in a story of power versus smarts. Sky just wouldn't give up and started to work over Rhea's right arm. In one awesome sequence, she used the power of friendship, hitting all of Damage Control's signature moves, Dakota's corner kick, Kairi's flying elbow, and an Asuka lock. Rhea used to have the Judgment Day, but with Damian Priest moved to SmackDown, I never appreciated that she's become quite an isolated figure at the top. So when Ripley suddenly got way too annoyed at Belair at ringside, it didn't feel out of place. Felt like the unravelling of what's become quite an arrogant title reign. After a double down on the outside, all Bianca did was cheer Io on to get back in the ring to beat the 10 count. This disproportionately affected Ripley, making her come across very insecure. Like, did she actually want to win via countout? That's not very mammy. So Rhea went outside and shoved Belair. Belair shoved her back. I was terrified they were going to do a lame DQ here to get out of a proper finish, but instead Jessica Carr used referee's discretion. She let the match continue, and moments later, Rhea's lack of focus cost her as Io hit a moonsault to win. The crowd reaction was more one of shock than a big pop of elation. I'm excited to see where this goes. Is Ripley going heel? Could she get added to make it a three-way at Mania? What about Bianca potentially going heel with the Cargill stuff? Ripley has still never beaten Io in WWE, which is a great long-term story. This was an excellent episode of Raw at 87%. For more on John Cena, click the video on screen now with everything about his WWE heel turn. How long was it planned for? Who was in the know? And more.